Hello all, welcome to study 40 of the Solving Studies to Improve Chess Calculation series. This position comes from the Platov Brothers and it's a really interesting challenge. Not only the level is very high, but I think that if you invest some time to try to solve it, then you will appreciate a lot the solution, and I suggest you do so. So don't try to short go to the solution, try to really think deep, try to find the best moves for the defense and the best moves for white, and in the end you are going to be able to enjoy it far more. As you can see from the thumbnail that I placed for this video, this is really a challenging one, a grandmaster certified one, and John can see it. And if you are not believing me, I will just show you here the bar. As you can see here, the engine is saying this is a draw. And it will not be a draw. So again, if you haven't watched the guide, do it now. And after I will start the countdown and I see you back with a solution. Have fun with this one. And here we are. And again, let's start with the right first move, which is bishop f6. I think I'll show the solution in a different way. I will change here the window so we can see for, I normally don't do this, but here we can see how long the engine takes to find the solution. So you see, the engine is thinking this position is a draw, and it's not. We are going to win. So let's come back just a bit. So here what we see is, okay, black is going to promote the pawn for a queen, so we need to be very fast controlling that. That's why the first move also comes to the mind is bishop f6. We can consider also bishop g5, checking the king, but then the king takes the pawn. We are in the same situation, and now black just blocks the access to the promotion, and there is no way that white will reach this pawn. Next move, it will promote, and it's game over for white. It's a loss, not even a draw. So after a while, it's going to be fast to find the first move, bishop f6. And of course, we already saw that black will try to block it, so the threat now is to promote to a queen. And the first idea must come to our mind is going bishop, sacrificing for the pawn, attracting the king. Now the knight comes with check, and maybe you are seeing that if the king takes the pawn, then I fork the king, get the pawn, and then I win with king, knight, and pawn against pawn. This is a win for white. But of course, black is also paying attention, so it won't take the pawn. It will just move, for example, for e3, and now it's impossible for white to stop the pawn from promoting, and white is lost over here. So we can take the pawn, which make it a bit difficult. But after a while, we keep trying to find a solution. And the first thing that we are going to discover, okay, let's see first if we can bring the knight either to f3 or e2. There is a big difference in both of these moves. One is not winning, and the other is winning, but it's not so easy to see it now. Let's just say that if the knight comes to f3 attacking the pawn, the idea is when the black promotes to a queen, then the bishop takes, it's a check and attacking the queen. So the queen takes the bishop, we take again, the king takes again, and this is a draw end game. We are going to see this, but I prefer to show you from the other perspective. So if we go to 92, looks like the same thing. Okay, so we just do the same moves, and now it's white to play. And of course, we are going to play this end game. This is a pawn end game, and it's a draw. Another important thing for you to remember is we also need to master pawn end games very well, because they go deep and require us to be very precise. Just one bad move, and we can lose this end game, and we are going to cover it also. So just to show you the possibilities, let's say for example white goes to f5, then the king comes, and then we can try to approach the pawn. Once we take the pawn, well, then black just stays in our opposition, and so whatever white does, if it goes, for example, over here, we simply go over here, because if the king moves away, then check, and now it's a stalemate. You should always have pawn end games in your repertoire, because they are really important and they can really bring you points home. Other ways, for example, we can try to trick black over here. If black, for example, knows what it's doing, then it goes here, and then when you approach the pawn, it will be similar. Okay, so now we can progress. We can go, for example, h8, come back, and we can't progress anymore. It's a draw. Sorry for this one. Let's go over the same situation. So we can try this one, and if black makes the mistake of going over here, this is also a good position for you to try to solve it, because of course going with the king, we already saw it's going to be a draw, but we have this first move, and then it's different because sorry, over here I go directly because when I reach this situation, well, the king is not well positioned, and so I will advance the pawn and promote for a queen. But it's important for you, again, over here, it's important for you to understand that we also need to calculate this from the starting position. We also need to be able to see if when we reach this position, this is a winning pawn end game or it's a draw pawn end game. And this is a drawn pawn end game. Uh, Coming back. So we reach this point where, okay, until now, oh, look, at last, Black was able, the engine was able to find the solution over here. So, knight e2 is better, but we already seeing that the idea of promoting and then taking the pawn with d4 is not enough. So, let's see what happens. How can we solve this? And this is the point where I say if you have found this from the starting position, then you should really go after the GM title because you are GM material. This is really hard. I was not able to find it, and I spent about 40 minutes or more trying to solve it from the starting position. The problem I had was that I was here trying to find a way to win that pawn end game that I showed before, and I was not really understanding where's the trick and try this move and this maneuver and that maneuver in my head, and never was able to find a solution. So basically, I was blocked over here, and here I was only able to see the 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 position where the pawn end game was a draw. Okay, so are you ready for the brilliant solution that blinded the engine from seeing the winning move from the beginning? And the brilliant move now is knight c1. Brilliant one. Why? Because, okay, it looks like strange. What is doing? The queen can just take the knight. But if it takes the knight, of course, we can give a check and take the queen after. So, for example, over here. And now it's a winning because we can go with the bishop to the other side and the pawn can advance. But when it reaches this position, our king is too near already from the enemy pawn, and so when it reaches, it's going to be over very soon. We just go to the side, promote to the queen, and it's over. So the queen can take the knight for the starter. But there is also another threat. We are threatening bishop g4 and checkmate. If you notice, the king can't go anywhere. So if the bishop checks from g5, it will be checkmate. So besides the queen taking the knight that we already saw that loses, Black has only one other move, which is to play the queen to a5. But now it's very simple. We simply attack the king with the bishop, so we sacrifice. And the king takes the bishop, we have a fork. And because the king has no other move, besides, for example, over here, this is kind of a little stupid. We get a fork again. And in the end, we are going to win. So, coming back just a bit, this is the brilliant move that the Platov brothers were able to compose on more than one century, 1909. And the engines, even nowadays, so advanced, were not able to see this was a win from the starting position. I hope you guys also enjoyed it. This is really a grandmaster level study, but if you have found it, congratulations. Share in the comments because I'm really curious about how people were able to do this one. And I see you in future studies. Bye bye.